my loves. Happy 2022 to all of you. Welcome back to a long-awaited video. It's been a while because we have been doing some much-needed repairs and some renovations. For those of you who are new, I'm Raveena Singh, a home management consultant, and besides this channel, we also do virtual physical organization sessions. I broke up the renovation into phases so that I could keep focused on one area at the time. I find that doing too many things at one time makes it very difficult to look into the details of everything done. So if you're doing any repair works, I would suggest doing it one section at a time. I have broken it up floor by floor, but it is entirely up to you how you want to break it up. Now my checklist comprises of 5 phases. So far, phase 1 has been done, phase 2 is ongoing, and the others are in the pipeline. Phase 1 was basically the ground floor, which is the great room of the house. First, let me show you the before. Behind and under the neat and tidy spaces, there was a lot to be done. But it was important to me to do it in an environmentally friendly way. I'm not the type of person who removes everything just because it's easier. I retain, repair, and repurpose as much as I can, and you will see this in the reveal. Now, this old countertop had water damage around the faucet and sink area, and it was beyond repair. The sink was an undermount sink, and the problem with that was that the area surrounding the sink was always wet, leading to this damage. Now, we decided we needed to replace that. This was a great time since we were removing the countertop to update our backsplash. This area above the stove has been very difficult to keep clean as well, and the hood just wasn't serving its purpose. So this was another area we had to work on. Another problem we had, yes, we had many problems, is that there is a lot of cross wiring in this house. Switches are not where the light fixtures are. So all that needed to be done as well. The biggest challenge was in this area. The tiny laundry area here was honestly way too tight, and the pipes were leaking, and generally it was a dark and very dysfunctional area. So all said and done, these areas desperately needed some work. Okay, so sad story over. I being me, I spent long hours daydreaming about a refreshed kitchen. Of course, I wanted it to look good, but most importantly, I wanted to make changes that would be practical and easy to use and functional. That's a lot of pressure, but I am so happy that my daydreaming has manifested into a reality. I have now got this beautiful, wonderful new kitchen. So let me show you the reveal. This is the dry kitchen. Look at it now. I am so in love. Every bit of it is functional and visually appealing. I have maintained the marble and pink accents because it's still pretty much my favorite combination. The new countertop has been installed, and I have chosen to go with a plain glossy white because it accentuates the marble decor further. It's easy to spot stains and spills, and that also makes cleanup so much faster. And we also changed the backsplash. I went for a designed backsplash since I had opted for a plain white countertop. This way, it emphasizes the design while keeping the space from becoming overwhelming. I fell for these tiles the moment I saw them. And unlike the developer, we tiled the entire length of the wall. These are 1x2 tiles, in case you're wondering. And another change in this area itself is the sink and faucet. Since under the mounted sink, it was not functional, I have opted for a sitting or what's called a vessel sink. The raised sides of this help keep the water from splashing out. Being so prominent, I wanted to go with white again and then pad it with this gold faucet, my long time want. What I didn't expect but was really happy about was the faucet came with a matching gold strainer fixture. So the main use of this sink is to wash our hands or just a spoon while cooking, so I went with a low faucet. The little touches of gold add a layer of elegance and it just elevates the whole space. From the same brand, this hook here is the ideal place for a hand towel. The towel stand was taking up unnecessary room on the counter, so this is a neater solution for this area. On this side is the island, which also needed refreshing, so we got the entire island ground. It was super messy, with dust flying everywhere, even to the upper floors through the stair vents. It would have been much easier to replace it, but it didn't seem right. It didn't seem like the right thing to do. So if something can be polished, repaired, reused, then why waste it? One of the little changes that I made a little earlier are actually the doorknobs. These are most importantly easy to wipe. These go well with the kitchen that I was planning at that time. So we also did the rewiring and then replaced the switches. This brand is U-Touch, and I specifically wanted power points with universal sockets because half my appliances are either from Australia or China, and having to use adapters can be very cumbersome. A few of the switches also come with USB slots, so we can charge our phones, or I can charge my iPad while in the kitchen. A little touch that has added so much style is this small solid surface here. For one, it helps to break the monotony of the backsplash, and two, I think this will be a great place to add some decor or even a small herb garden. So this section here has had some refreshing too. My daughter ordered this gorgeous hood online. It actually reminds me of a TV at a glance. I wanted something with a more powerful suction, but I didn't expect my daughter to be able to come up with such a sleek design that also matched my requirements. Besides the stylish modern design, this is actually a strong 1400 meters cubed per hour, which means that it is high absorbency. I added the tiling to the top in this area so that I would make it so much easier to clean splashes and steam marks. I'm still admiring the tiling, and the funnel going through the middle is superb. My super favorite addition to the kitchen is the Swivel Tap. It allows me to fill my pots right here and not have to carry pots across the room. It can be stretched across the cooker and then folded back to rest against the wall, so it doesn't take up any space at all. This tap actually runs filtered water. We have installed a water filter under the sink and run a pipe behind the tiles, so you see nothing. Having filtered water here also makes it ideal for refilling water bottles. Most people would have fitted this tap above the cooker, I know, but leaning across a hot hob is not an option for me, especially as we have multiple burners burning at the same time. So I decided to install this to the side. Now let's move on to the wet kitchen. I've already given you a tour of this section when it was done in a previous video. The only change here has been the backsplash. Many of you suggested I get it done, but I had held off thinking that I would do it all together. And now it's done, and it's turned out beautiful in my opinion. The whole area has been brightened by this little change. These tiles are also 1x2, and in addition to the hexagonal texture and design, it also has a mild marble vein running through. This goes really well with the marble countertop that we have here. I think the most extensive part of this renovation has been this area. The only way to overcome the tightness was to open up the space completely. Removing the wall and the tiny utility bathroom was probably the best decision we made. It's still not huge, just 7 by 5 feet, but it has allowed me to create a proper laundry room. This laundry room is so functional, and now I love spending time in here. It has made doing laundry such a joy. This sink has been added to easily wash any rags and garments we use. Since it is very much visible as you enter the wet kitchen, we have kept the same cabinetry style, and this helps to keep everything cohesive and continuous. To add to the continuity, the sink is also the same brand and design as the dish sink, except that it is half-sized, and the faucet is exactly the same as well. I will be moving all my laundry tools and detergents here, so it can be a separate workstation. Workstations are ideal when more than one person uses the kitchen, as that way there is no congestion of getting in each other's way. This whole room has been tiled in the same design as the wet kitchen, again for a seamless appearance. I have not tiled these walls all the way up to the top because I preferred adding some wall art. However, I did tile it much higher on this side and behind the machines, as cleaning becomes so much easier and faster on tiles than it would be on a painted wall. Another bit of work that we did was to cover all the visible beams with plaster ceiling. This gives the top a much neater look and more in line with the modern look that we have gone for. One thing is that we lost our tiny bit of natural light that came from above. However, a little change in lighting was able to solve that problem. The lighting has had a huge impact on the whole area. It makes it look bright and cheerful, even though you might have noticed there isn't a single window here. You will be surprised how much difference the lighting has made. We replaced the down lighting with these LED diamond lights, which are so much brighter and longer lasting. Everything just looks so shiny and well illuminated. Now, before the renovation, there was a small step here and a dip there. So we hacked the floors to even them out and then replaced the flooring to get an even floor. This is a safety feature that I have been considering for some time now, but again, I wanted to do it all at one go. And this has also, happily for me, added to the continuity of this whole back area. Since we were getting this done, I decided to go all the way out to the side entrance. Continuing the tiling to the side entrance has actually given me so much extra usable space. It has also made going out into the garden to hang clothes on the line such a pleasure. I will share more on this area in my laundry routine video next week. For my convenience and for my family's safety, there was a large dip here to which we added a step, which gives us complete access to going out to the side garden. All these joints here were also neatened to give it a more part of the house look as opposed to an outdoor finish. So that, my loves, is what I have been busy with over the last few months. It has taken time, but it is definitely well worth the temporary inconvenience. Over the weeks, I am so excited to be showing you how I have reorganized the kitchen and laundry area, and you can also look out for the pantry reveal coming out soon as well. Now, the entire project has been a real pleasure from beginning to end. I'm being sarcastic here because I had my moments. It's been great, from tearing down the walls to reusing a kitchen that I'm finding so much more functional. And until the next video, this is Raveena saying happy homemaking.